It's always a mystery when the video is starting. So, like, at what point you can hear me and what you can't, especially if I don't have Mark here. So, hello, everyone. If you're catching the replay, welcome. I'm Steve. Mark's around. Say hi, Mark.
Hey, everybody!
And this is Smokey, Steve, and Mark. Welcome back. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday indeed. Anyone having some weather? They're predicting some for us at the moment, and I'm a little insecure about it. They're calling for a lot of rain and then a switch to snow.
We're gonna get washed out!
Mark thinks we're going to get washed out. We live in the part of town that's known as like the hill section, so it will roll downhill, and it's not going to take us with it. But we do get street flooding and stuff like that. So, Susie, hello. LA, hello. Oot. Ghost Goose, Starburst. Cookie Ruiz, hello. I know, I just saw when I was looking up Alex's live now, too. So, in the interest of community, if you see him first and come back for my replay, I could live with it. Because I like Alex, too. So, Tiny Walnut, Carabella. You're under tornado watch, lovely. Calendar, what's up?
Who had a tornado watch?
Need a lot of rain. Gurgy. We're waiting. We did pretty okay. We had a few days of soaking, the pre-live ad means it's working. Did you see her community tab? Which one? The last few I had gone over. Really happy to watch your channel. Ooh, cats. Well, thank you. Thank you for the super chatting. Happy to have you here. Take a seat in the back. Put your feet up. We'll be here a minute. So yeah, I was going to pick up a little bit towards the spitting rain. It's gross. Trying to pick up. We left off with a coffee break, middle of the week. She doxed French Fry Girl. Of course she did. It can't be January soon enough. Like, just when you think you can't think less of a person, they do something that makes you think less of them. I'm sure it's nice to know. I mean, French Fry Girl, Shantal might live in French Fry Girl's head a little bit too much, but she profits off of it. Shantal makes zero off of the guilt and anger and everything that she has towards French Fry Girl. All she does is give her more content. Funny how that works, but people tend to talk about Shantal more in reaction to something she did. Not that she took some sort of primary step and people were like, ooh, hey, you did make it. Hey, Dom. Happy holidays to all, whatever your holiday is. If there's no holiday, happy Sunday. What's less than zero? French Fry would eat her alive. And she tries to keep it talking about other people. I mean, this is just the November. Who haven't we talked about yet? Because we still need a little bit of extra flow if we're going to go home to Canada and intend to keep our man housed, fed, clothed, and the cats. She's going to need a little bit of extra money or a place to crash between visas. I don't know that she can pull this stupid tourist visa shit too much longer. Somebody will catch on to it. And besides, she's doing tourism, health tourism, which people do. People sometimes leave their own country and go to another one because the cost with anesthesia, surgery, and everything is cheaper. They usually don't go on an extended fuck up and then come back with man, I need this cheap or free. Where should I go? Oh, Canada. And she's insured as a citizen that she would be able to have that. She had said, I've been paying taxes there since I was 16 years old. Now, not to bring up the dead, but I remember shortly before Life by Jen, when the backdrop of her being sick the whole time was that she was having this weird psychodrama with Jean, that they were both, Mark and I are both addicts, and those two were both addicts. So I get it, and I kind of knew Jen a little bit, sorta, kinda. But, I'll say this for the two of them. Jean was there when Jen was doing her worst. Chantal's gonna look around an empty room and just take her last breath. She won't have anyone to come for her. She's insisted that she's fine this whole time. So, she's fine. So don't treat her like she's sick. Don't hold the door for her. Don't get in a jazzy. Oh well, oh well, oh well. So, I tell this one whatever helps you sleep because it seems to be a whatever helps her sleep kind of thing with the MLM scam that we'll touch on for a second. So, living off the Canadian dime, we will touch on that with her return home. The MLM scam, she's the little snake oil salesman now. So, we'll see how that goes. It's like coldest water bottle 2.0. Not as embarrassing, probably. So, more stuff for pity and attention. So we talked about doctor's notes and then her fasting, and how she deals with chronic fatigue now. Which, if she tries to try to win sympathy in her way by claiming she has some sort of rheumatological thing. She'll probably come back. I never said I had chronic fatigue syndrome. I said I had chronic fatigue. Okay. Is it fun living in technicalities where the only person smirking to is yourself? I don't know. So, pity and attention. Negative comments that she just can't help but respond to. There's a bit of like I think a undertow of like a gastric bypass false belief that goes with Shantal among people I think who've either had weight loss surgery or some people who are considering it, that there's some things about Shantal that while it sounds like, oh man, that would hopefully fix her problem, it wouldn't. So she broke their terms and conditions by making all kinds of, yeah, she totally, Haley, she totally did. You can't say something's covered by the FDA if it's not. And a lot of substances appear in a lot of different books. It doesn't mean much at all. Doesn't mean much at all. I mean, even the DSM for mental health concerns is basically a big coding manual for medical providers so they can decide what 5 numbers decide what illness this person has. You know, that kind of thing. Exactly. Cured someone's asthma. She's feeling much more energetic after 36 hours of doing it, and that all the stuff's making her feel full. It's bullshit. And she bought it. It's an MLM scam. She admits that, too. You know, she could shoot someone in the middle of Fifth Avenue, wouldn't lose a single sub. It's that kind of deepness. It almost kind of feels like Teflon Donna, if you will. Negative comments, gastric bypass, lying about her weight. She made a whole video trolling everybody about how her weight was 535. 535. Okay, no. And there was a reactor I was happy to see who was remonetized or was monetized again after Shantal took credit for the person losing monetization on their channel. She wouldn't lose the sub because she'd buy new ones. You gotta be slick with buying subs, though. Very, very slick. You only get like 100 at a time. Don't make it too obvious. There was a while ago, 6 months ago, 600 new subscribers showed up in one day when he went to Social Blade. The next day, they were all gone. Now, did 600 people change their minds? No. You've seen mass exoduses from Chantal's channel before, though, when, you know, every once in a while she'll say something dumb enough that like 1,500 people unsubscribe. So, perfectly imperfect, yes. And the curious part was that the content that needed to be taken down had nothing to do with Shantal. She just saw, ooh, someone who thinks mean of me is having something bad happen to them, let me rub it in their face and take credit. As big as she is, she can't take credit for that. It was other content, and it was addressed. And if all the other content is still up and monetized, then I guess it falls within TOS. So just because she's, you know, got her tits in a knot, it doesn't necessarily mean something bad is happening, something is going on. There's a whole cut of channels that come through. I mean, there's the big boys with the reactor channels, but there's a whole cut of people when you go through the like 5,000 to like 30,000 subscriber limits of reaction channels. There's a lot of diversity within the smaller channels. You know, not that Yaba and Alex are identical or anything like that, but there's a more diversity of opinions. There's different ways people do the videos. I've used Chantal's content as far as video. I'm going to say I've used less than 45 seconds worth of her content. That's a lie. Probably like a minute and a half over the time we've had the channel. Because what people say is, we don't want to see her. We don't want to hear about her lies. We want to hear about what's going on from people who are kind of, you know, into it. Only way I've seen it. So she's returning to Canada. We talked about this in the middle of last week. Living off the Canadian dime like a lowlife. Didn't she say Canada taxed its citizens to death? And now she's going to go take advantage of said high taxes that other people have been paying to give her surgery. I think we should have access to medical care, surgery. I live in the United States. Our healthcare system is about as good and fucked up as anybody's. It's very expensive to be sick here. The wait time is a trade-off. Shantal has said it might take her months. First of all, she has leverage in how soon she's going to have a gastric bypass or whatever she's going to do for weight loss. It starts when she says it starts. If she wants to put it all out, you know. New but love your content. Such a breath of fresh air. Excited for this new arc of Chins and Us. Well, thank you. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Now, I don't see that she sees it like getting something for nothing. But like for the last year she hasn't been in Kuwait, and for the few prior, she was dealing with tax concerns. Her disclosure, and it's probably a large amount because knowing Shantal, she made quite a bit of money for a few years and paid dick on it, telling herself every time, next month I'll take some money out and put it aside. Next month I'll take some money out and put it aside so I can pay. And she just never did. Never did. And when it got too uncomfortable, she moved and told everyone she got married. And now, instead of going to Thailand, which would break the bank on another visa stay, she's going to go home to Canada. She's going to stay in Canada. I believe she'll be in Canada. She's going to stay in Canada. That's the thing. She raged on her soup. Oh, I love it. I love it. Let her. Let her rage. I mean, that's what she does. If she can't make you feel sorry for her and she can't gross you out, she can make you mad. And not unlike Amberlynn Reid, it's, she built her audience on the backs of her haters. People who watch Shantal. People feel a sense of satisfaction about watching bad life things happen to someone who's kind of cocky and snobby about it. It knocks them down a peg. So, no one, I think, feels like, not too many people feel like they have to be the one to do something. There's been a few rogue folks in and out over the years who have come in and thought they were going to right this ship, Exactly, Terra Mama. She puts it on the community post that she's upset. Fine. Great, whatever you want to do. If she's not leading up to a rage later, she's just trying to feed the bears. Just feed the bears. And she's a kid like that. If I can't get good attention, I'll get whatever attention. And she just keep talking. French fry girl's going to be smoking at your funeral if you don't watch it. Okay? Just saying. Paying taxes since he was 16 as a kid. Not so much. Jen and Jean were talking about how them paying sales tax kind of equates them paying taxes. Because neither of them worked at the time. Jean was hit or miss employed, and Jen, I believe, was on disability. So, let her, Carabella. Let her. You keep poking the bears. See, you can have, like, this ongoing dispute with somebody, like she's had going with French Fry Girl, like, forever. But sometimes, after a little while, Jet's cool, and while there's not good blood between these people, there's not this semi-daily, vicious back-and-forth stuff. It makes Shantal look like the trash she is. She runs her mouth, says she's better than anyone, and says worse, more vile, more disgusting things. And she can sleep at night because she says it's in self-defense. But like the example I had was, just because some guy, some woman takes your boyfriend, you get her fired from her job. How is that equal? How is that whatever? And besides, Shantal doesn't believe in exes. Remember, 2 days after her and Nader broke up, he was with somebody else, and she said he doesn't have the right to do that because we just broke up. There's a whole separate set of rules for dating Shantal. There's a whole bunch of them, and the telecommunications contract is probably ridiculous. French Fry Girl monetizes it while Shantal doesn't act on it well enough. We'll see. French Fry Girl kind of found her way into Chantal's life last time and affected change. So we'll see if she finds her way back in this time. But it'll always be something. Shantal needs a villain. Otherwise, it's her. So she always needs someone her life isn't how she would like it because somebody else did. Her landlord's name and everything about French Fry Girl. Oh, she's going to say it's public information, blah, blah, blah. Is this the new arc she was talking about? Petty and vindictive? It's been that arc since the late 20teens? It's like since 2018 or so. So, at any rate, she leads out of the part where she's going back to Canada, of course, where we're supposed to be jealous of the situation. She has to leave her husband and her pets. Let's say she did love any of those things. Leave them and go back to Canada for weight loss surgery, kill time between immigration activities, whatever. Run out of money and don't want to have to use your own. Making more money in Canada but then you don't want to make the money in Canada because the farms, don't fuck with the farms. They'll find stuff. They find stuff. So, I mean, that happens. And Shantal is not above, the enemy is my friend. Landlord, then she better drop the Motel 6. Exactly. I thought we knew all about. I thought French Fry Girl sat all alone all day in a dirty hotel room with her phone a foot from her face, screaming about how Shantal is just ruining her life. I think French Fry Girl goes on after bullshitting with some friends, says her thoughts, plays in the chat, collects some super chats, and goes on with her day. Shantal spends 24 hours thinking about French Fry Girl. French Fry Girl maybe gives her 8, I would say. Other people have other things to do. It's not French fries she's talking about? Well, either way, it doesn't look optimistic. Not so much. But when she was in Kuwait and had to go to Canada because Kuwait basically said you're too fat to live here. And, you know, if you need surgery or to earn a living, you can do all of that at home. You can do all of that stuff at home. You don't need to be in Kuwait to do it. And she wasn't working. There was all this talk of a business and everything. And she kind of maybe snuck in under a work. Like, there's always the whiff of a lie with everything with Shantal. There's always the whiff of a lie. And she'll lie for no reason to kind of muddy the waters a little bit, too. If it comes out she made the right info, she could get terminated over this. French fry girl didn't turn her in for doxing her phone number. I don't know. See, that's the upgrade. You know, okay, let's take it to the next level. Let's take it to the next level. Here to judge. Thank you so much. Aw. Crying from over. Thank you very much. Thank you for the chat. So, I don't know. Now on to the MLM scam. Her post talking about the woman who lost her son. The friend very called them goblins. She's heading to Canada. Oh. She's staying with her mom. That's what I'm thinking too. I'm wondering if she's going to try to make a little money off the MLM scam that she is now pushing towards people. Only the most gullible. If you're dumb enough to buy a subscription to her channel or a membership, then I guess you're probably as stupid enough to buy the MLM stuff she's selling. Her whole presentation of that is stupid. You think she'd be too much of a snob? Because no time when you have to buy somebody else's product and you have to put money up first. No, that's not. Happy holidays. Enjoy the season. Thank you, Texas Voodoo. Y'all are being nice to me today. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Enjoy the season also. You can see we're ready. We're ready. So I hope I'm not getting any LMM gifts for Christmas, I have to say. I'm going to guarantee, because I saw it come up and I can't get the screenshot and I can't pull it up here, that somebody had, I'm sure, remember with Coldest, the water bottle, when people got in touch with the company and said, she is a huge piece of shit. Don't tie your name to her. And they stopped. And she acted like she was bullied by people because they said mean things. And obviously Coldest didn't look into it, or they would see that she was, you know, immaculate in all of her choices and activities. So, I don't know. But I believe I had saw people saying, do you want to attach the name of your product, the unicity, do you want to attach that to a person who's, you know, accused of animal abuse, border hopping, affiliation with groups that are unsavory? And I think some of that came with her traveling abroad. Not sure what kind of circles she ran in, but yeah, Coldest dropped her for bullying. And she's like, I didn't intend it. Say what you want. Tell your story walking, but not with the Coldest. Mary Kay for Men is on its way. Oh, God. I don't need that much makeup. I know guys that wear makeup. I work with a guy who wears a little bit of makeup, actually, to work. Nice guy, good at his job. Pink isn't his color, but he didn't need my permission to wear makeup. And to be fair, I think he puts it on better than Shantal. The Shantal did put up a video of putting on her makeup. It was very low viewed. There was not a whole lot to it. She used to make the big deal doing her makeup as like a get ready with me. So she'd be putting on her makeup. She was getting straight up coke whore sexy, pale skin. She had dyed her hair jet black blue, which I loved, honestly. And then Shantal, I always thought could do a pretty good face of makeup. I thought she had some good makeup skills, especially considering the canvas she's had to work with to create tones and dimensions. I don't think it looks bad, but it seems like so disingenuous because what's she gonna do? Sit at home, put on makeup in her phone, shut it off, and then try to sell it? Like, that's a loser of an afternoon. I kind of think. And what's with trying to look pretty? Who you're trying to look pretty for? For your trip back to North America? So you can go out and see the boys. You want to bet that hijab comes off on the airplane, flushed down the toilet, and she's not wearing it by the time she gets off in Canada. Swear. She's not going to be in a place where she's going to limit herself, and in her costume, she would be limiting herself. It gets a different kind of attention where she lives now. I don't think it would give the same results when she's in Canada. Plus, it's still a disgusting bit of trolling to do the Muslim thing. I mean, when's the last time you went to a mosque? When's the last time you ate kosher food, halal food, excuse me? Ever? Any time? She will for the camera, and that's it. Well, the camera is like her worst. I don't know. Hey, Claudia, thanks for coming. Well, it's okay. I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. I was just talking for a second. I had another one. I had another point comment. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm starting to hear things hit the window. I'm wondering if the weather is starting at the moment. For pity and attention. So she gave the list. Jamil, happy holidays. You and Mark are definitely one of my favorite creators. Aloha, bro. Enjoy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Y'all are too nice. You really are. I'm happy to sit here and talk with y'all. Absolutely. We did it for years for nothing. We didn't get monetized until we were a channel for about a year and a half, I guess. So as far as pity and attention, she got doctor's orders to eliminate several things from her diet, including rice and starches and other things. And she went ahead and ate all those and had herself a big ass burrito bowl. Content Coconut Beauty product sponsor. Oh my God. I do. Thank you for the super chat. I'd forgotten about that. God. Oh God. Okay. So for pity and attention, we had water fasting. We went to the doctor. Doctor gave some direction. And she didn't want to follow the doctor's directions exactly because, thank you, True Blue. It flew by too fast. I'm sorry. Thank you. The doctor's orders was don't eat this, don't eat that. And then all of a sudden she's eating this and eating that. Everyone remember to like the video and subscribe. Check out the holiday content. Mark's got a ton. We've been putting up a lot of holiday stuff. Favorite Shantal react. You guys are just making my head swell. Let me get back to reporting and not flattering myself by reading the chat. So, she also said when she was asking for, medical attention and stuff, that she says she deals with chronic fatigue. Now, I know a number of individuals who deal with chronic fatigue syndrome and other things. And it's really, difficult, she's like Meryl Streep, this woman. I mean, she can pull off a lot of stuff, but she's not going to pull apart a rheumatological kind of discomfort. Chronic fatigue syndrome is not being just tired. It's not just being constantly tired. Christine? No. There's a whole other layer to it. There's nuances to it. There's impacts in other parts of people's life. I do know people who have rheumatological illnesses who do end up probably on disability, and they can't do the things that they would need to do to hold any kind of job. Light, heavy, sitting, standing, nothing, and it's in a lot of pain. If she was in that level of pain, we'd know. And she wouldn't lose face whenever anything came in front of her. She's practically dying as far as she can tell you, and then a cheeseburger shows up, and she's, already wet her abaya. So, yeah, laziness is a disease. She took it that far, because it's not. Those kind of things, Mark has a rheumatological thing. I have other friends who do, too. They're lingering, annoying, flare-prone, so they don't announce themselves. She would live for a condition like that. It would be her best get-out-of-life-free card yet. Not too fat for the plane, have asthma, can't go outside, I was getting sunstroke, can't go in the sun, all that kind of shit. So, the doctor's orders will be pulled to the side, and she will instead, of course, be doing the MLM scam and taking all that stuff, which I'm sure she takes with, grain of salt, saying it's got fiber, it's got juice, it's got nutrients, it's juice. It's juice. There are plenty of things, I believe, in nature that can provide healing and comfort and pain relief and all that kind of stuff. Definitely they are. But I don't think MLM, that her little Unicity thing is going to be the one doing it. It's just another fart in the wind. It'll come, it'll go. So lupus flares up with the sun. Yeah, these are nuances that she would have had to sat around all day. Wait till she has lupus. We'll see. She would. She said dumber shit. And she'll have a whole new set of limitations that she's going to troll everyone by not taking doctor's orders. Because it really hurts me when she's 250 pounds overweight. And I'm very jealous of the quality of her life. I wish I had more boils. I wish my husband stayed out later. I wish I was too broke to go anywhere but home. Through all my fancies at a man who was supposed to stay, and now I'm too fat to stay in the country I moved to. That's a really, really rough deal. She doesn't think this deal... No, she knows that LMs are just a joke, for the most part. I mean, she's just doing it because she thinks some people will be dumb enough to buy it and credit her with it. But it's just money. I'm sure we, our little... just hit 7,000 not long ago. Woohoo! Subscriber channel. Get offers to do stuff. It's a lot of video game apps. And say, hey, will you take some money and will you show this on there? And I'm thinking, I'm not opposed to promoting something, but I would want it to be semi-relevant to the content that we do. Like, she's taking prescription medication for a physical health problem. I take mental health medication prescribed by my doctor, and they give suggestions. Well, if I decided, you know what, I'm going to live a more green life, take something a little more fresh, stop all my meds, and start taking St. John's wort, which could throw me into a manic episode. Because those substances, there's asterisks all over the back of those bottles because those supplements are not evaluated by the FDA. There's supplemental information. There's not nutrition information on the back. If you're on things like government assistance or food stamps, you can't buy stuff like Red Bull with food stamps. It has to have a nutrition label on it. It can't have supplement label. So people would try to get those 24-hour things at the register. They don't work. They don't work. So, too fat to stay, it's got to sting. Hey, she had a year. She's had a year to learn any bit of the language, to find a comfortable place where she could walk, to meet other women who are also maybe doing... She can't be a real friend to another woman. She's too selfish. But reaching out to other women in that position, finding other women... See, Sarah, I think she'll take the hijab off. I think she'll eat it on camera. But I mean, this was supposed to be just to respect Salah. Like, he gives a shit. He's like, yeah, put it on backwards. What the fuck do I care? So, I think she says he's doing it. But also, she's wearing it because he likes it. He wants me to wear it. He wants to protect his little candied apple. So he wants me to stay in this. And I'm just doing it because I can. Natural and organic doesn't mean it's safe with no interactions. Arsenic is natural and organic. Exactly. People are dumb. People sometimes go back to like the bare bones. Well, if it's carbon based, then it's organic, right? That's the kind of argument that Pete and Shantal make about things. She'll pull up something like that from Wikipedia, put it in a screenshot, and say, laugh at that, losers, in a community post, which she can't monetize. If you're going to stir up strong feelings, at least make some money off of it. I mean, everyone knows your game. Why are you getting bad at it? To wrap up her chins that kept coming and coming and coming. I don't know about that. First time she's shit-faced in Canada, she'll go live without the cosplay. She'll be too high to realize that, yeah, she'll forget who her audience is. Because what does she really get out of Salah at this point? She had companionship. She had a place for a year. She had a husband. Till death do us part isn't Shantal. She's cheated on everyone she's been with. She says. So, Salah should expect that she would probably cheat again. She probably would call it not cheating because she slept with Nader before, so it's not cheating, even though she's married, that she slept with him again. I'm telling you. Blocked? No, Ruby Red, I don't see you. You're not blocked. I didn't block you. And I don't think any of the mods did either. But let me know if something's up. You're causing a fuss in my chat? Actually, no, you're not. You're not! She has a husband. She gets to say she has a man. How often do you see him bragging about it on his channel? Hey, babe. Let's go. It's kind of like the guy from the B-52s. Like, I would like to hear Salah sing Love Shack. Hey, you see a faded sign at the side of the... You know, anyway, okay. So, pity attention... Numerous health problems. She feels bad that she didn't address them, but now she's going to, now that the time and the price is right. So, no. It still won't count as cheating because there's a woman there. She doesn't cheat, but she cheats. She tells herself, again, whatever helps you sleep at night. She could lie. She's upset that people don't believe the lies she tells herself to go to sleep. That the rest of us aren't so gullible. That a lot of us couldn't lie to ourselves in that sort of way or deceive ourselves. We do. Sick people can do that. I mean, mentally ill, definitely. I've had my moments of that, and absolutely. But sick or not, it still creates problems for everybody else. Started in the kidneys with the lupus, NSAIDs. Oh, it sucks. It sucks, and it kind of throws like. Shantal has had a lot of illnesses over the years. She likes the kind of attention she gets specifically for being sick. In a situation like that, and I'll talk now about the gastric bypass kind of whiff that goes through it. Shantal has mentioned over the years getting a gastric bypass. Weight loss surgery sort of came up when she was talking about leaving Kuwait and going to Canada, because it'll be covered there. It would just kill her. You know she doesn't tip good. And then she was going to go there to have the surgery and to have everything fixed, repaired, what have you. And I think when people hear that, people who've either had a gastric bypass, they think, like, finally, this will be the thing, because the gastric bypass is a thing, or any weight loss surgery. For a lot of people, it's one of the only things that works. And so she puts her eggs in that basket, gets their hopes up that maybe she'll make a healthy decision, and then backs out of it. Doesn't do it. I want to try drinking juices first. I mean, I don't think she'd live through... She couldn't even get a tooth done. Her teeth are jacked up because you can't get a dentist chair that big that'll support her. And who knows how much laughing gas you would need to give her. She'd probably choke on it. But, and Amberlynn Reed had the same problem in dealing with that, too. Love Shack, baby. Love Shack, baby. So, lying about her weight. Now, she did... Thank you, Sassy Mango. Hello. She did lie about her weight. And she made a video about lying about her weight. Because, she told us at the doctor it was this, that. She put up a video to troll, saying that she had to come through with it, she didn't want to lie anymore, and that she actually had bribed the doctor with deviled eggs and cash, or something similar, to let her use the scale so she could take a weight. First of all, that's not that outrageous for Shantal. It's only because it was a doctor, I would say no. But Shantal would try something that stupid, because she's not used to interacting with people that aren't flat and can be shut off. She has to continue the conversation without just going, whoop. She'll never get a bypass till she fixes her binge eating. She's never going to make... There's some psychiatric hoops you have to jump through, at least for the folks I've known who've had it in the States. You can't just go get one. There's prep, there's classes, there's self-care, there's things to do. I mean, she'll just bust a staple on a binge, and that'll be it. She might lose a little bit of weight at the beginning just from not eating in the hospital, but she is incapable of self-care. She would eat when she wasn't supposed to. She would eat right after the surgery. She'd hurt herself. She'd say it was a surgeon error. She would sue for something, and then she never works again. And Shantal proves once and for all that making a sick spectacle of yourself can be profitable, I guess. Everybody moving around and around and around and around. So Shantal also said for weigh-ins, because now we're not going to do weigh-ins, because she said she weighed 535 pounds, which is obviously a lie. I think realistically she's in the low 400s, probably. She says she's 360, tack on 50. I would say low 400s. She's not smaller than when she got to Kuwait. It is impossible, unless she spent every free moment off camera on a treadmill. There's no way that you can sit on the floor and eat fast food. She's human. She has superhuman, goals, but she's human. Human bodies, no matter who they belong to, can only take so much abuse in this direction or that direction. And I don't think it occurs to her that, she's closing in on 40. She's probably got 2/3 of her life done if she stays at 400 pounds. You don't see a lot of 400-pound 60-year-olds. You don't. And Shantal seems to have just increasingly gained little by little over the years. Gaining, let's say she gained, it's easy, 25 pounds a year for 10 years. It goes pretty flat. And you would only have to gain half a pound a week, every week, to do that to yourself. And then that little bit by little bit by little bit. 366, yeah, she got some helium. Maybe there's a little bit something puffing it up. And not for nothing, not to be nosy, but she had to pee in a cup when she went to the doctor. Ladies, not to put you on blast, but even at a size 2, I understand it's challenging to give a urine specimen if you're a lady. It's a little more difficult than if you're a man. And she somehow took one herself. It would take 2 people to get a urine from her. So, no, I don't necessarily think. 5 foot, small framed. Actually, she is, I think, call me Steve, pretty petite under there. That's why her arms stick out like this, because her shoulder width isn't that wide, because she's like 5'1". This wasn't the body she was meant to have. Otherwise, her skeleton would be a lot more stocky. She'd be a lot more broad-shouldered. The hat, okay. There we go. The hat, that's the solution. That's right, Mark said that they have some individuals, they do urine tests where Mark works because they do drug and alcohol treatment, so. It's called a hat. Look it up. You pee into this thing that you put in the toilet, and then you can pour the pee into the cup. It's easier to be a guy, I gotta say. And thing is, though, with Shantal, I'm thinking every time she has to go to the bathroom. Toilets are pretty universal in size. Sometimes there's big ones. You have shoulder arthritis, you need it. Oh, okay, cool. Well, then it's a tool. It's meant to help. 5 foot small frame at 127, I am overweight. Yeah, height charts aren't forgiving. And the shorter a person is, gaining 5 pounds can look very different on someone who's 425 pounds versus someone who's 115. It'll show a little more. So, you have to pee in the basin, like sit up on the sink, probably. I just thought it's of all the things that I would be interested in, how does Shantal navigate this? How does Shantal eat? No, how does she pee in a cup? I gotta see. Even in a regular toilet, because, she's been traveling, and plumbing isn't plumbing everywhere you go in the world. So, I don't know. But lying about her weight really to Andy with an L. You're not late, you're fine, but thank you, hello, welcome. Upside down cowboy hat held in place by the seat. I see. I didn't know how that would work. I had no idea. Now I know. See, it takes a village to educate a creator. Feel like it will get everywhere with Shantal despite the hat. That's what I'm kind of thinking. Like, I don't know. Her weight is of no consequence to me. And I don't know if it's of consequence to anybody else. So the thing that she's lying about affects her. Like, why would I be jealous that she was 100 pounds less than she said? I mean, I wouldn't want to be 300. I am half her weight, and I am 11 inches taller than her. So, I'm cammed up. We're here, and none of us have perfect bodies. Her idea that she won't weigh herself until reaction channels weigh themselves because they don't have to. Then go make a reaction channel and do it in silhouette. See if anybody watches. Or do you want to just find out that it's mostly for cringe, and that if it was all black and white, nobody'd watch? So, being in her body being painful and uncomfortable is probably something she's probably gotten used to it. If she ever did get better, and by better, it's so many things for her. Mental health, substance use, eating disorder, crippling personality disorders. Like, if you can't hold a job because you're so much of a flake, then you've got a personality disorder of some sort. And those kind of things are treatable. But when you think of them as like an asset as opposed to a drawback, especially symptoms that are like debilitating, like with the binging, everything has the little nuance. She's not binging because binging happens in private. Binging doesn't happen on camera. Shantal, that's the point. That's why people watch you do it, because you're doing the cringe on camera. And other people aren't, because they're not as brave as you are to eat what you want and rub it in the haters' faces. So, I mean, her back looks like she's going to break her own back standing up. I mean, and her proportions, God love her. It's different. Like, Amberlynn Reed is legs, ass, like, still kind of a feminine area where the fat deposits. Shantal is all gut. Her body was just so full of fat, it just got engrossed. And she's going to age into someone with very teeny little legs, because they don't walk around much, and a giant stomach. And if she does lose the weight, God bless her, I don't think she'll qualify for skin surgery, because she will start regaining weight quick. Even if she does get herself to a good weight, she'll ruin it for herself real quick. Cheeks look big. It's just a sub. You can get a notification. I thought the other day I might not. I was going to put out a short and a regular video at the same time. Had another great doc about it. I'm going to have to check out Sansa, because it was only recently people started suggesting to check it out. So I'm going to have to take a look. You can't just diagnose someone with something else. Doctors do, but she doesn't trust doctors. She'll diagnose herself. And then say, well, what did your doctor... How do you know I didn't go to a doctor? She's trying to have uncertainty be her proof. You don't know whether I did or didn't go to a doctor, so for as all you know, I did. So I did, and you're wrong. Because she doesn't lie like that. I'm not a diagnosing professional. I'm not working mental health, and it's on my side of things. I have lived experience with it over the years, plus substance, plus. So I've said before that I think I see some of Shantal's behaviors, and even though they're ridiculously and obviously self-defeating and repeat, I mean, the repetition is what makes people sick also. So her BMI must be crazy. Over 50. Those big folks that you see on 600-pound Life are over 100 sometimes. So can we discuss uneven pupils? I was looking into uneven pupils, and having it be related to a health condition she probably has right now that has the asymmetry of this. There's things she can't hide, as much as she used to try to be able to. You know, filters can maybe hide a little bit of the jaundice. I don't know. But not all of it. So doctors don't typically wear jeans in the office like in her weigh-in video. Yeah, but see, we have a very limited life because none of us have left the block we were born on. Unlike Shantal, who's been all around the world. Weird pupils I've had from substances, but not only when I've had my eyes dilated did one go in and one go out, because I have shitty vision. I had glasses since I was like 8, and with the vision going in and out, in and out, in and out, I don't know. She wears glasses periodically. I wonder if she'd pull them out. The new supplement drink or prescribed meds that she's probably not taking. Probably the prescribed meds she's not taking. She's not going to take the doctor's recommendation. She wants to find a natural healing way. How many more years do we have to try it Shantal's way? If she would never just right out of the box take it as directed, no cheating, no consequences, nothing. So I want to say that there's an illness component. I forget what it is. I want to say rheumatological. That's probably not right. For the asymmetry and the dilating of her eyes. Meds. Thank you, Seal. Meds can cause similar. Like I said, I had one eye dilated one time, so I had one huge and the other one small. I didn't drive home. You're not supposed to after they do that shit, but it was like one eye and not the other. So, defiant to the end. Yeah. Shantal, you're going to die. We're very sorry. There's nothing else we can do. You're just jealous. Because I have... Where's your man? Right to the end. Right to the end. Right to photoshopping the casket. All the way to the end. You got permanent double vision, so you don't know. Retinopathy is a possibility. That's the thing. People like in chats, like we're talking, have ideas. Maybe someone knows somebody. Maybe someone has lived through it. Those kind of experiences would be useful to Shantal. Instead, she sees them as a competition. Can her comeback story, which will never be anything but a story unless she gets off her ass, is going to match somebody else's? If someone comes into the chat and says they've lost 200 pounds, she's like, oh, great, how happy for you. That's wonderful. Oh, I'm 366. Not on the moon. But, I don't know. People who live in glass pancake houses shouldn't throw stones. Just saying. And again, it's of no consequence to the viewer what happens to Shantal with her. But it really isn't. If the biggest loss to the community, to the world, if Shantal passed, would be that some reaction channels have to find someone else to talk about, she'll be forgotten in a week. Like, had a concussion. Well, we'll see. I don't think she has a concussion. If she loves to be injured. She loves pity stories. She just likes that specific kind of attention. That's all those trips to the ER. She gauges people's, I want to say gullibility by how much they'll believe of what she says. If she finds someone in her life that she can blow a lot of shit past, she'll keep them around. Hi, Pete's. If someone challenges her and says, you're full of shit, I don't care if you think you're not, natter, then they find their way out of her life. Except when she comes back to Canada and tells us that she's going out without her hijab and just for a drive and was just going to go out for an Orange Julius and can't she live and no, it's nobody's business except my husband who has his blessing to be here. Do you think Salah's going to spend all that quiet time alone while he's by himself in Kuwait? I don't. He's going to have to watch a cat and a hamster and an apartment that her income, I think, helped pay for. And she's going to leave him high and dry, worse than Pete's. Except now she'll go back and ask Pete's to co-sign it again, but his credit won't be good. So who do we line up next? Who's Shantal's new friend who she's going to profit off of? I'm sure no one in her family would co-sign a loan for her. I'm sure they love her, but would not go for that. They would not. I would not go for that, personally. But have you seen her most recent community post? Not since I've been up. Last I was checking, Alex had been up for 20-some minutes. I was trying to fuck around with my camera, and then she had put up some community posts, as I heard. See if Mark's anywhere here. Mark!
Yeah.
Could you come in here, please?
Yeah.
We're going to take a look at some community posts. We got 15 or so minutes. I'll have Mark. Bring your phone, please. I need to have a look at something so we can discuss. I'm usually not doing shit in real time like that, but, yeah. I'll take a look and see what's said. It's usually disgusting, what she says, and it's usually targeted at just a few people. Toes the line. You know, you can send someone, I didn't know this, a strike on a community post, and it'll count as a community guidelines strike. I didn't know that that was a thing. I got one of those alerts for creators that we get. Like, you get it on your desktop if you have a channel every so often. And you have two subscribers, you get one. And that I was reading that the posts could be... Oh, now, a community guideline strike isn't copyright. There's no weighing that. That's it. That's what that is. And I had gotten looking into that also when Perfectly Imperfect just got... There it's back. Can I have your phone?
Yeah.
Please?
Sure.
Mark's gonna join us for a second, guys.
Well, I mean...
Well, he's behind the camera. Say hi, Mark!
Hello.
Mark is putting up what do I want to say? Decorations.
Yes, I am.
I need to find Foodie Beauty.
Oh, okay.
Let me just find her here, because she's running her mouth, of course.
But you can keep my phone.
I can keep your phone?
Yeah.
Okay, bye!
Bye.
Thanks, Mark! Foodie Beauty. What do we got here? There's me, there's her. Shorts, playlist, community post. 1 hour ago. I don't know if I want to reread this if this isn't about her. 8 court cases in a few years and not paying the rent. All of these screenshots are the names of the court cases brought up against French Fry Girl. This witch had the nerve to make hundreds of videos talking shit on my finances and how I owe thousands. Oh, you mean how, like, you owe thousands to those landlords who never got paid? If this is not hypocrisy and projection, bitch, get a life. Get a fucking life. Nobody's gonna care about this anymore except you. You wanna sit there and play with it and grind it and get mad at it over again? Do it. But if you're too dumb to make a video and just put it on there, like, forget it. And she says it's projection. The French Fry Girl's projecting. You care so little that you went out and found information about her. Someone just came to me with it. I don't watch the reactors. People send me things. Bullshit. Bullshit. Anyone who goes to the farms knows about her court cases. This is what Shantal's mad about. Not that she thinks she's a hypocrite. It's that people don't care. When other people do similar things to Shantal, a lot of people don't care. Because they don't hide it. They don't lie about it. They don't tell you they're better than you. Insist you've made worse mistakes. And then come off with community posts that say, sure, I'm a big piece of shit just like you. She never proves herself to be in the right or better. She basically says, you're scum like me. She had to try to get him to say, she's her own worst enemy. So again, projection. And this is for the moron psycho literally threatening me. I'm not afraid of trash like you. I never called your deceased son's gremlins, you weirdo. Lie, demented. Fuck you. Fuck you. She paid her debt years ago. Yeah, Shantal has active debt that she... Yeah. French Fry Girl has debts. She pays her debts. Shantal runs up debts. She moves to Kuwait. Let's talk about hypocrisy and integrity. Who made mistakes? Both of y'all. Who fixed their mistakes? French Fry Girl. So, let's talk about follow-up afterward. So, I don't have a whole lot of extra shit to go over. Unpaid taxes. People have tax problems. People have tax problems. I had to get an extension 1 year and then fuck that up. I was trying to do taxes when I was in the middle of my drinking and I was like getting the numbers wrong, and I had been audited in 2003. In 2003, I was in college and I made $3,500 that year, and I was audited because the city of Philadelphia didn't get their cut of my wage tax because I was working in another county. So things happen. Things can happen for little reasons. They can happen for big reasons. Sometimes it is just a big misunderstanding. But she was pretty much on board with the fact that she owed money, and working with her means they dropped a little bit of it and she didn't have to pay, I think. She could have paid some... No. She made enough to buy a house. She wouldn't even have to rent. $20,000? 3 months of $20,000 months. Well, assuming you took the taxes out that you weren't supposed to keep. And the more you make, the more you have to pay. So I'm not sure what she had coming out at the end. When I do our taxes for our 1099, it's maybe 10% of our yearly that we take home. Yeah, I didn't deliberately not pay them, I just fucked it up. There's being a screw up and a liar. I'll take screw up, that's okay. Money was never one of my strong suits. Commentary channels have no lives. People obsessed with commentary channels have no lives either. Same addiction, different drug. It's the same thing. So, and yeah, I think I said earlier, the whole point of Shantal's channel with the binging is that she says, I don't show binges. Binges are private. No, you film your damn binges. That's why people watch, because nobody else does, because dignity and health get in the way of them making decisions like that. And I don't care if French Fry Girl sits on your cat. It's not your cat anymore, and it still has a better life. 20K down payment. Think in a month. Think how ungrateful. She sees jealous. I see ungrateful. I'd like 20 grand a month, but do I want to have to move to Kuwait? Sit in my own shit for 6 months at a time? Grow all sorts of things that can grow on festering skin? And then be almost too fat to fly home? Man, if I only had it so good. So good. I don't have a very grand life. I have my partner, we have our cats, we have modest jobs, we live in a very humble apartment, close to family, we have friends, and, you know, that's kind of a life. And she's sitting there on TikTok all day, trying to find proof that someone said something to her 3 years ago was wrong. Stay mad. Stay mad. I don't know what to tell you. I don't really hate Shantal that much, but when she's this ignorant, it's really not hard. Again, her ignorance, rudeness, all of it. If I didn't know French Fry Girl or Shantal, but I walked up to a fight between the two of them happening in the street, and Shantal was running her mouth the whole time, why would I think one of them is a victim and the other one is the perpetrator? If you take turns fucking each other over, then no one gets to wear the I'm innocent crown. I'm not talking about French Fry Girl. I mean, life is life. We all do what we do. My past is not as fresh as driven snow. So I can appreciate it. And I can appreciate, much like Shantal, bringing your past back to your face. You know, make hundreds of videos about her. She's successful. I know she thinks so, but I turn off the camera, the rest of my day is about me. She turns off her camera, the rest of the day is about French Fry Girl. So, no. No one should be so preoccupied with someone they don't know. And it's as true for French Fry Girl with Shantal as it is with Shantal and her. Shantal couldn't... Okay, first of all, I'll forget more than Shantal will ever know about a lot of that stuff. And again, not perfect. SmokeySteveAndMarc. Generally, I would sit here and smoke during streams for the first couple years. But sometimes people who make dumb decisions make better decisions. And the reason people trust them and don't hound them asking about it is because they trust their word, because their actions match it. So, yeah, we don't smoke inside anymore. I got my trusty vape, and then we all go out on the porch, and I've been able to cut back. I don't have a smoker's cough anymore. I still have that little bit of a whiskey voice, but I don't have the smoker's cough, because actual change happens. Of course she watches them. How else? What kind of friend would send you videos of people who hate you and talk shit about you? None. Especially when she fights back like this. So, thanks, Killjoy. This is it's the Christmas season. This is, Gift Mountain, if you must. Because we have some giveaways going on during the month. Oh, Donna, that's loose skin. You want to say there's those guns? You want to see how much of it is skin and fat? Like, I used to have a lot more of it because I filled back out. Yes, Mudslicker, engagement. She doesn't care what the attention is for. She doesn't care why. She just cares that it's about her. I think Madonna had said, or Marilyn Monroe, I don't care what people say as long as they're talking about me. And I think Shantal very much subscribes to that. If she had the choice of being hated or invisible, she would take hated. Because then at least, you know. Gift Box Mountain. I mean, we're not giving away Swarovski crystals or anything like that. But for some contests we have going on. There's one we have going on now, I think. Get your emails in. If you, why can't her husband go with her to Canada? Maybe they were. I don't know. She probably doesn't know. This week we're having actually, for Steve Will Try It, coming up on Thursday. Plug, because we'll be wrapping up in a second. Steve Will Try It, we're going to be doing a Christmas cookie recipe that was sent to us by a viewer. So if you have a recipe that you like, or that's your favorite, or that's your signature, send us an email with it. Just take a picture of it. You don't have to rewrite everything. And send it to SmokeySteveAndMarc@yahoo.com. And if we pick your name as the winner, we will make your signature cookie, whatever you submitted, on that night's video. So we have that little going on. And if you get picked, I mean, you get another prize from Gift Mountain too. So let's see. How did Bandit get his name? He was given to us. Bandit we got when he was 3. He was in the shelter. They told us he had FIV, but his current vet has run that test 3 or 4 times and nothing came through. So they told us he was disabled, had FIV, and kept him in the disabled cats room. And his name was Bandit. And I thought, for how old he is, I don't want to change his name. I mean, if he was a kitten, maybe it'd be different. But he was already 3, 4 years old. And that was 10 years ago. So Bandit's getting up there a little bit. He's got a little gray in his beard. Little bit of. So that's Bandit. That's our boy. And then Oscar, Mark named Oscar. Oscar was just a cat that we had in the yard. So Oscar, we named, and he came in, and he responds to it too. If she goes back home and leaves yet more pets, the waste of Shameline does. Thing is though, it's stopped being. As soon as she's in Canada, Kuwait is as far away as Canada was before, which means she doesn't have to care as much. The only thing she'd get fixated on, if she was really into Sala, would be him having a wandering eye while she was away. You know, the end game from the beginning, people had said, was get him to Canada. The amount of maneuvers they would have to do, I have no idea, to make something like that happen. But everyone always, you know, where's your man? Where's your man? Where's your diabetic ketoacidosis? So, I have a soft spot for Oscar. He's such the sweetheart. He is such the sweetheart, Oscar is. Bandit is a doll baby with Mark. He's become a lap kitty, actually, just within the last few years. In the last year, excuse me. And he sits all over Mark. And Bandit's big. I mean, he's not fat, but he's a lot of fur, but he's Maine Coon, part. So he's big. And then Oscar is just the sweetest little thing. He's very defensive because he was an outdoor cat, but he can survive anything. You know, he's a good boy. So, so what have we wrought? What have we wrought? Well, I guess there'll be more videos probably coming out tonight with Shantal talking about the things she wrote and how everyone's a hypocrite but her, because she's so important. There's going to be a breaking news. You know, Shantal hasn't a feeling about this. What do you have to say, Foodie Beauty? So I just feel for Oz living outside till you guys found him. He is such a kid. I don't think he was anybody else's cat, but he had no collar. He had nothing like that, because I wouldn't want to take someone's pet. But he was living in our yard and under our car. And then we started taking care of him a little more, and he was on the porch. And then we got a heating bed type thing so that he could go sleep comfortably. So, and he did, and he stayed outside, and he was out for 2 winters. We didn't have the space. We didn't have the way to keep it safe for Bandit. You know, initially it's because we thought we had Bandit. Bandit had FIV. And then when we didn't, it's like, oh, we could get another cat. Sometimes cats aren't a good match for others, but we could always get, you know, another one for whatever. It wasn't until we moved from here that I thought, we can't leave Oscar. We've taken away some of his natural ability to hunt and find food and sleep and find warmth. So if we're going to handicap him like that in the wild, then he needs to live inside. So he came with us, and he lived in a closet for 3 months at his choice. And then once we moved from the last place that was condemned to here, he loves it. He loves it here. They play up and down the hallways. They fuss at each other like brothers would, but nothing more than a few soft pats back and forth. So, heard a rumor that the villa is charging Pete's $5,000 in damages. I could believe it. For a complex like they were in, where you need to have like absolutely impeccable everything. I remember looking at apartments. I've lived in apartments that they weren't worth $5,000 to do the damages. So we were lucky, at least. We were lucky to get him. So as we're wrapping up here, I just want to say thank you everybody for coming. This was a great chat. We had almost 400 people in here. And that's pretty big for us. So thanks.
That's great.
Thanks for the pat.
Nice.
We'll be checking in again this week. We're coming up on coffee breaks, which we've done the last few weeks. Seems to work pretty well for people. So the coffee break is usually like 15 minutes or so, maybe, and touches base with whatever insane shit she happens to be doing at that point of the week. So if we check in again on her, we'll check in probably like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, somewhere in there. Put a hole in the kitchen floor with her chair and mopping it along with, yeah, pigs. They were pigs. And then they left. Remember she was a BB? They had bugs. They had to get all the shit out of their closets, and of course she said it was other neighbors, and we didn't know her that well at the time to think it could really be other neighbors. Not that her and BB had roaches. That's communal living, that's apartment living. You can get that kind of problem without having it yourself. We did. But you always wonder where those things start from. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you for being here for another live. Let me know how viewing this worked. Last week we did wireless and it cut out like twice, and it was really stop and start. I did it on my data today, so if this is better, I'll stick with this until something better comes up for us. But thanks for watching. Please hit the thumbs up on your way out. Please do subscribe if you're new here. Welcome. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All of it's in the contact info just below. Thanks, and we'll catch up with you very, very soon. Tomorrow's Sunday, so we'll set you a little post out and let you know what you can look forward to, okay? Thanks for watching. Look after yourselves, everybody. Shantal, I don't hate you even if you are here. Just get your shit together, honey, okay? All right, everybody, take care. Bye.